All the highlights here, right on Wrestling Recap.
I'm Jeff Harrison, and we're coming to you live here from the Unidome in Cedar Falls, Iowa. We've got the UNI Open. We've got 12 matches, tons of action, and it's coming all your way right here on the Wrestling Recap.
All the highlights right here on the Wrestling Recap.
If you're like us, you're sick and tired of reading results from the best matches in the country. The Wrestling Recap is here to change that. I'm Jeff Harrison, and we're here to bring you the best action in college wrestling every single week from a new campus. Stay tuned to find out how your team can be featured on thewrestlingrecap.com. Right now, we're in Cedar Falls, Iowa, where Jay Robinson and the Golden Gophers of Minnesota steamrolled into town on Friday night. The last time these two teams met was last year in Rochester. At 165 pounds, 10th-ranked Nick Bama of Northern Iowa butted heads with 5th-ranked Matt Nagel of Minnesota. After a Nagel takedown in the first, Bama knotted the score at 2 on a reversal late in the period. The two exchanged escapes, and Nagel was hit with his second stall call for a point. Then it was Bama who stayed on the offense and sealed the deal with a takedown and a 6-3 decision over the 5th-ranked Gopher. Is Bama's win an upset? He doesn't think so.
No, but truthfully, I'm not surprised that I won. I went into the match expecting to win. I knew they've always been close, so I didn't see why anything would be really different.
At 174 pounds, Gabriel Dretch of Minnesota decisioned Alex Dolly of UNI 8-4. At 184 pounds, Roger Kish decisioned Dan Dunning 8-4. At 197 pounds, Mitch Kuhlman got the decision over Andrew Anderson 4-2. At heavyweight, Cole Conrad of Minnesota got the fall over Tyler Rhodes in 2 minutes and 56 seconds. At 125 pounds, Andrew Dominguez over Seth Wright 10-6. At 133 pounds, returning All-American Mac Ryder controlled the match against UNI's Chris Helgeson for a 16-1 technical fall. You want a comeback? Here's one for you. At 141 pounds, C.J. Edelson of UNI and Manuel Rivera of Minnesota. After a 12-0 Edelson lead, Rivera chose to go neutral and went to work. After 6 takedowns in a row, the big bad wolf from Minnesota says, "I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll throw your butt down." Following up, the Schlater boys finished off the meet with a pair of wins at 49 and 57. The true freshman Dustin improved to 14-1 on the season. Minnesota defeated the Panthers, and this one 31-6. After the duel, I got a chance to get Cole Conrad's thoughts on the Gophers returning to the Promised Land.
Definitely, we peaked really well, it seems like, at the end of the year. And if we can pull our team together and come in strong at the end of the year, I think we'll be right in the race.
I'm Trent. And I'm Travis. All the highlights here on the Wrestling Recap.
5 years ago, Northwestern University was the doormat of the Big Ten Conference. Flash forward a few years and a couple good recruiting classes, and you've got yourself a top 10 contender. Here's a look at how the Purple and Black brought their attack to Northern Illinois University. Led by All-American Jake the Snake Herbert, the Wildcats showed their dominance. 18th-ranked Pat Castillo tried to get the Huskies off on the right foot, taking 5th-ranked John Velez into overtime, but Velez was able to score the winning 2. Andy Hyatt struck back with a win over Dan Quintanilla, but it was the 141-pound match between two of Ohio's best that had all eyes on it. Ryan Lang took on Josh Wooten. Lang showed why he's one of the country's best with a second-period pin over Wooten. 10th-ranked Mike Grimes notched a major decision win over Brandon Lesdas, while Eric Hagel held off Aaron Owen 9-6. Starting the Wildcats on a 5-match win streak, they saw Will Durkee pin over Johnny Galloway. Want your team covered by the Wrestling Recap? Send your videos to us at thewrestlingrecap.com. P.O. Box 785, Streamwood, Illinois, 60107. All videos should be from the previous week's duels and tournaments and receive no later than the following Wednesday for consideration. All videos will become the property of Infinite Entertainment, LLC. All the highlights here, right here on the Wrestling Recap. True freshmen were the story of the tournament at the 2005 Cliff Keen Las Vegas Invitational. At 125 pounds, Cornell's Troy Nickerson and Edinburgh's 149-pound Gregor Gillespie showed they could wrestle with the big boys by taking the championship in their weight classes. But it was Ryan Chirella's outstanding wrestler performance that led Michigan to the team title. Here's a look at how the team race finished.
All the highlights coming to you from the Wrestling Recap.
Here at the UNI Open, the Nebraska Huskers were the story of the day. Led by Paul Donahoe and senior All-American B.J. Patton, the Huskers had champs at 125, 141, 184, 197. They placed first and second at 133 and 174 and placed third at 157 in heavyweight. Speaking of heavyweights, UNO's three-time defending national champ Les Sigmund continued his winning ways with his 9-3 championship domination over Iowa's Matt Fields. And in the what goes around comes around moment of the day, Iowa Central's Matt Collum lives by the pin and dies by the pin.
All the highlights right here on the Wrestling Recap.
Thank you so much for tuning in to our first episode of the Wrestling Recap. A special thanks goes out to IllinoisMatmen.com for hosting our first show. Next week, stay tuned for our next episode of the Wrestling Recap. We're coming to you live from Madison, Wisconsin, the home of the Badgers. I'm Jeff Harrison, and this is the Wrestling Recap. It's wrestling like you've never seen before. Want your team covered by the Wrestling Recap? Send your videos to us at thewrestlingrecap.com. P.O. Box 785, Streamwood, Illinois, 60107. All videos should be from the previous week's duels and tournaments and received no later than the following Wednesday for consideration. All videos will become the property of Infinite Entertainment, LLC.